So today I actually wanted to talk a little bit about intermittent fasting and what I think of it after doing 30 days of it. When I first thought of intermittent fasting, I thought of it very much like my binge and restrict cycle. It sounded like, oh, well, you don't eat and then you eat. I was like, that's a lot like starving and binging and starving and binging. But now that I've actually completed 34 fasts, my ideas on what intermittent fasting is and how I feel about it have changed dramatically. I know that it is not recommended for everybody, especially if you have struggled with eating disorders in the past. But like me personally, I have discussed the relationship I have with food. I have talked about how I binge and what those binging sessions have been like for me. And I honestly felt like intermittent fasting allowed me to reset my relationship with food. It allowed me to reset and know what actual hunger felt like, as opposed to like when I thought I was hungry, but I was really just dealing with these extra emotions. If you have never heard of intermittent fasting, it is a form of restrictive eating where you have a period of time where you do not eat, which is referred as your fasting window, and a period of time where you do eat, which is referred to as your eating window. And the type of fasting I did was where I ate one meal a day. I would start by having like something small to open my window, waiting a little while, eating something, and then I usually closed my window out with something sweet. So what are my first impressions? My first impression was how freeing it felt. Like freedom! I felt like I got to do things and be included. Whereas when you're on a diet, when you're in a situation where other people are eating, you feel excluded. Like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I can't. And I never once had that feeling while I was doing intermittent fasting, because if I did want something and it was during my fasting window, I told myself, you know what? If you still want it, you can have it later today when you open your eating window. As I read about it, as I looked up more about it, I was like, the suggestion that came up was do not change your diet. And I was like, well, what am I going to do? Because before this, I was binging. So am I going to starve and then binge and then starve and then binge? And I was like, nope. How about you just eat what your family eats, which is something that I haven't done in a long time. And so this month has been wonderful. My husband and son tested for their blue belt, and we went out to ice cream afterwards. And before, I would remember sitting there when we did something like this and being like, I shouldn't eat it. I shouldn't eat it. Or I would do the opposite, where I would get it and then I'd be like, why did I do that? That was so bad. I know that just ruined my diet. And so I was able to sit and have that ice cream with my family. And the greatest thing about it was that I didn't feel guilty about it. It allowed me the flexibility to do that. Another way that it gave me a sense of freedom was that counting was discouraged, which every diet I have ever done has been like, count your points, count your calories, count your macros, weigh your food, measure your food, do all this stuff, enter it into this app, write it down in here. And so I have always been tracking what I eat. And to be able to eat food without thinking, oh, I should have weighed that before I ate it. Oh, I should have looked at the calorie count, the carb count, how it fits into my macros before I ate the meal. And to not have to do any of that stuff was wonderful. In the past, I would spend a lot of my day asking myself, oh, can I eat this? When can I eat again? How much of this can I eat? I was constantly asking myself about food and having these conversations about what can I have? When can I have it? And like with fasting, it was super easy. Only one question. It was like, are you in your eating window? No, then it's not time to eat. And so I didn't have to think about food. I didn't even have to waste my energy on thinking about food. One thing about intermittent fasting is I think if you have done tons of diets, this thought is going to cross your mind, and that is, this cannot possibly work. That would cross my mind. It happened when I was having the ice cream with my family. It happened when we were having nachos for dinner. It happened when I had a soda with everyone that was not a diet soda. Like, I had all these moments where I was like, there is no way this can possibly work. I would be like, there's no way. I'm just going to get on that scale and it's going to tell me that I've gained 20 pounds. which made no sense because at the same time, intermittent fasting did the exact opposite in my mind, because it also like made my expectations higher, because it was the first time that I had gone 30 days and I hadn't cheated at all. Feeling that way, that I was able to do something that I didn't cheat on, like raised my expectations, and I was like expecting the moon. And I did get good results with it. I lost 14.3 pounds. And I lost inches. I actually decided that what I'm going to do is shoot a documentary that follows how my year is going. You can look at Starting Over days 1 through 30, where I talk a little bit more about how my experience with intermittent fasting, but I also talk a little bit more about my history with dieting. If you have tried intermittent fasting and it has worked for you, can you go ahead and leave me a comment below and tell me how it fits into your life and what benefits you see for it? And if it didn't work for you, let me know that too. Being able to read and see what is working for people and know their experience helps people out. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. My name is Echo. Thank you for watching, and I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.